Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my corner of the world. We are here checking out BlankBoy's video, the worst Invincible beatdowns ever. Yeah, Invincible is full of just gory, brutal, just absolutely vicious fights that honestly, if I had a weaker stomach, would make me turn away. Like, it is that gory, but you know, it is incredible entertainment, and I'm going to keep on watching it. It kind of shows how sick I might be in the head to actually enjoy watching this. But you guys are all there with me, so let's hop in and see how BlankBoy is going to be covering some of these. So link to the original video will be in the description if you want to check it out on your own. Let's run this up.
Omni-Man versus the Guardians of the Globe.
Omni-Man versus the Walmart Justice League was the moment I realized this wasn't a regular superhero show.
Yeah.
The superheroes aren't ever supposed to lose unless Hawkeye is on the squad.
Put me on to this
Ain't
show.
that right, Black Widow?
My God.
But here, not only do they die to another superhero? If you had asked me, I would have just guessed they lost to a Walmart version of Lex Luthor or something. Jeff Bezos works perfectly as that. But nah. Here, Red Rush gets caught and done so dirty. Head squeezed while he tries to fight free. Mind you, he experiences everything in super slow speed because of his powers. So when people speak, it sounds like Mike Tyson trying to get his words out. When he's waiting online for the bathroom, niggas is in there blowing chunks of Trippie Redd albums on the toilet for hours. And this right here lasted an eternity for him. Surely the real Batman would have had a better plan than this. Got his head slammed open, just straight violated. The real Bruce Wayne would have had a million contingency plans ready. He would have had that Viltrumite AIDS in his serum ready, Ragnar's, the Infinity Ray, and a barber, all the Viltrumite's weaknesses on site. Instead,
Not Thrag though. Thrag obviously has a very good barber. Not Thrag though. Hold on, bro.
Infinity Ray and a barber, all the Viltrumite's weaknesses on site. Instead, bootleg Green Lantern catching a hand through the head, and Aquaman getting banged on like some drums and smashed up to be put in a can of tuna, laid out right in front of Martian's feet.
I will give
what
them
more
that.
do you need from your guys to slow this down and get into their game?
They would need some help from the Lord. They would need some help from the Lord.
Martian Man wraps around Omni-Man and they start fighting back. They can't just take this beatdown without getting any of their licks in first. Who the fuck y'all think we are? The Avengers? But Omni-Man kills Martian Man, puts a hole in Very Mortal's gut, killing him for what'll be the first time of 78 times. An uninterested woman gets her neck snapped.
Uninterested.
Mark versus Battle Beast.
Wow.
Mark and the Guardians versus Battle Beast was a beatdown of epic proportions.
Yeah.
This was rookie Mark going against a nigga who we later know can go toe-to-toe with Thrag. Battle Beast on day one is crazy. Nigga just loaded up the game and spawned in versus the final boss.
Nah, actually.
That's like having to deal with Rod Wave on your first McDonald's shift. It's only Mark's third day out here. He had started cooking some C-tier heroes and started feeling himself, talking about some who's next? Nigga thought he was finna get his spot on the top 10 coldest moments list. Instead, he got that ass slammed. His girl talking about some, where are you? While he's crawling to save himself. This nigga.
The thing that I love about this is that Battle Beast, like the Invincible writers, they could have done something so devious, because like we've seen that, you know, through Mark's journey, he has gotten stronger. Whether he wins or loses, he has gotten stronger. Like he's putting in like the effort to train and stuff like that. So, and like, especially with the way that they did his fight, like his rematch with Conquest. Don't get me started with that. I am very glad that they still kept Battle Beast an actual threat. Because here we see he is absolutely dog-walking Mark. Like, absolutely dog-walking him. And since then, it's not the matter of, oh, this villain starts absolutely dominant over the protagonist, but over time the protagonist just matches them and surpasses them. No. No. Battle Beast is still that guy. He is still very much that guy. Bro is taking on Viltrumites just for a good fade, bro. I really love that they kept Battle Beast an actual threat who can take on Viltrumites. I love that.
The life is terrible. Battle Beast told
they
him,
could have made him
don't run,
weaker over
stomping
time,
his face
but
out and hitting
nah.
him with mad different combos, kicking him away like he's Messi. This was even a psychological beatdown, cause the new Payless Guardians of the Globe pulled up and Mark thought he had been saved. They got handled in seconds.
Yeah, they
leaving
could
Mark
not
to
be
have
a
to
team
crawl
in charge
away
of
begging for a
protecting me.
medkit for a revive. Nah, wasn't bro just talking crazy just now?
Who's next?
You next, nigga. Battle Beast did him absolutely insane, man. Black Samson or Tyrese Gibson thought he was finna get his Goku rage time talking about some invincible, screaming like they was day ones. Mind you, he met him an hour ago. Nigga ran in with the shittiest form I done ever seen too, getting his punch caught, broken hand, slammed onto the ground, and thrown to the
What
side.
did you think you
Left
were
Broski
gonna do?
in the Peter Griffin pose. Just straight belt handed out to everyone involved here.
Omni-Man versus Invincible.
Omni-Man vs. Invincible was the craziest display of child abuse I'd never seen. Up there with taking your son to a Brooklyn Nets game to watch. I already covered this fight play by play, but Omni-Man was hitting him with every parental manipulation line in the book. Straight, this hurts me more than it hurts you. This is for your own good. This is what you've been asking for. To try and convince Mark to follow his Viltrumite heritage. Mark tried to tell him,
it's even crazier when you realize that this is basically just the tradition of
for it. My
adult
pops had the same reaction
Viltrumites
when I told him I'm not trying to make the league.
You know,
Omni-Man really beat this
initiating
nigga's ass for wanting to be a good person. Told him you're gonna take
child
over
into
planets,
adulthood.
murder mad people, and you're gonna like it. Beat him all up and down Chicago for the entirety of O-Block to see. He not good in this hood anymore. Omni-Man not only beat Mark up and down the entire city/state, he made it a point to use his beating to purposely slaughter people in the process and show Mark, see, killing people not even that bad for real.
Conquest versus Mark.
Conquest versus Mark is a taking turns beatdown, because they really did take turns just pummeling each other for real. In all other situations so far, it was a one-sided beatdown, but here it's the both of them just doing the most damage to each other. Conquest slamming Mark into the ground and Mark slamming Conquest into buildings. Nigga's supposed to be a hero but making sure the poverty line is worsened. I knew Mark was really locked in because for the first time ever, he drew blood on the other person first. You know how usually he be like, Mom, I'm home, and comes in with a fully bloody suit and every speck of the blood is his own. But here, he had landed so many punches on Conquest, he's all the way up into space, had this boy leaking. Now, Conquest retaliated with a cannonball that can only be replicated by Rod Wave in the pool and punching him into 18 different cities, took that nigga around a tour of the East Coast and had Mark begging for him to stop.
Yeah, like once Conquest locked in,
not that long ago, was slamming his face across the ground, making Mark taste the concrete like Patrick, while Mark was delivering lefts and rights on repeat, making him make sure no car was coming from either direction. It's safe to cross the street. On the ass-whooping rankings, this up there with what the Lakers are doing to the Rockets right now. Slammed the Mark in the back of his neck, leaving him looking like a coconut, smushed his shit. Then both feet stood on top of him, having his back tear up the entire road. Even made sure to sprinkle in a little torture to Lil Bro Oliver on top of it just for the cherry on top. Conquest said, nah Mark, the whole world need to see what I'm doing to you. He beat that nigga from continent to continent across the ocean, making him drown on the way there, and using him as a battering ram to turn all the beachgoers into deli. Neither one of them having any regard for their life, punching each other with such hatred and anger, breaking their arms in the process.
Here we go.
And then the rematch wasn't much prettier. It was just as ugly as the first fight and Jay-Z. This was Conquest beating down Mark while Mark tortured his throat. He was hitting him with the most insane we not having this baby punches with so much hatred and blood everywhere, smashing him into the rocks,
way in
putting a
hell
hole in
Mark
his
should have been able to do
torso
this.
and ripping his guts out of his body. They truly take fight to the death
Like,
to heart.
what was this power
Invincible
scaling?
versus
There was no
Angstrom
way in hell
What
he
Mark
should have
did
been
to
able to do
Angstrom
that.
was ridiculous. He did him like how Kratos did Zeus. And if you're doing anything on the level of Kratos, that's an automatic indicator that you did some disrespectful shit to somebody. Angstrom really tried to fuck around
Angstrom
and find
did that
out,
to
pushed
himself.
it to its max capacity,
He
was
pushed
rage
Mark to
baiting
go to
Mark,
that
threatening
point.
his mom and little brother, and got his ass killed because of it. I'd be mad too, Mark, if I had to stare at this disgusting nigga. Every time he was on screen, I was ready to turn off the TV. He's also just so annoying, so trust me, I was so happy when Mark was doing him crazy. I was sitting there like,
Thrag
Accurate.
versus the Coalition.
again, I just did Thrag versus the Coalition play-by-play, but it can't be spoken about enough how he came through and lived up to the hype that the comic book readers was putting on his name. You know a nigga is serious when he's acting this nonchalant and it isn't corny. The Infinity Ray literally puts holes in Viltrumites like SpongeBob SquarePants, and he just nonchalantly moonwalks out the way, no care in the world. Nigga told Oliver, "You're not one of us." Talked to him like he was Uncle Ruckus, smashed his jaw open and then ripped his arm off. Tanked the hardest hit Mark could land on him and then did a reverse impact frame on his ass. Bro punched Omni-Man down to Viltrum so that he could be surrounded by straight abandoned buildings. Tried to convince Omni-Man that the 4 Viltrumites left can repopulate, but Omni-Man said he is not clapping Lucan. So he punched him so hard that he was airbending better than Korra. Punching Omni-Man so hard he turns into a rocket off the planet and can't stop himself till he's damn near out the galaxy.
Crazy.
He made Thaddeus look like he's an easy fight, made him look like very mortal. Gave Omni-Man straight CTE headshots for 5 minutes straight, no break in between. And then put a hole in his body, gouging Mark's eyes out, letting him live just because he's not trying to make his own species extinct. Gave Mark a psychological beatdown and a mental one. Bro got
Like, do you know how insane that is? He's not letting you live out of the kindness of his heart. He is letting you live simply because he's like, there are too few of us already. Like, I'm leaving you alive just so you could potentially create more of us. That's insane. Like, that is so crazy.
home and had straight PTSD. Shout out
Like,
to
oh
Zeph,
my
post-traumatic
God.
smoke disorder. He couldn't do shit without imagining Thrag ripping their heads apart and how he can't do anything about it. Then Thrag pulled up to reaffirm Mark's fears, like, yes nigga, I am really here, and you should be worried.
Allen versus the Viltrumites.
Yeah,
What the
they
Viltrumites did
jumped
to
him
Allen
something
before his buff
serious.
really gotta be studied. I ain't seen this level of jumping since what they did to Jiraiya. Allen thought she was sweet out here trying to crack jokes,
Not
but none of them
Jiraiya.
found any of that shit funny. Hitting him with the most ridiculous haymakers, passing him around, landing WWE moves. That shit don't even exist on Viltrum. The love of the game of being a bunch of evil niggas got them improvising new moves. They taking turns flying at him with charged up rights. It's not enough to break his back once, we need to break his back twice.
Stop! He's already dead.
Punched that nigga into a headlock and started unleashing onto him while his girl watching. Is truly evil work.
It
They don't
is.
care about anything. Started punching him in the face over and over again. Punched his eye out his socket. Did all of this cause they wasn't fucking with his stand-up routine bro was doing. Lucan rips off his arm and then slapped that nigga with it. They using Optimus Prime moves too now. This is crazy. Dula came over, grabs him, and punches a hole through his body. Stared at bro to make sure he not breathing,
God,
and then
how
dipped
did
out,
he
leaving him
survive
there.
this?
That might be the worst beatdown in the entire show now that I'm reflecting on it.
How did he
Anissa
survive
versus
that?
Mark.
If I remember correctly, this was Mark's second time fighting a Viltrumite, first one being his dad. And Anissa wasn't playing fair whatsoever. Beat him up and down, punched his ass into a cruise, had Cecil scratching his head like, what the fuck we supposed to do about this? That's our #1 overall pick getting lumped up out there. Next best thing we got is calling in Very Mortal. She was stepping on his throat, had him begging for his life. I mean, this was just embarrassing. I thought Mark was locked in, but nah, he got done crazy. Left him on the brink of death. Mind you, this is not even the top 30 worst ass whoopings he's taken.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't even the worst he got that day. But I just figured it was worth mentioning because it was a big moment. There is so many more I
So
can mention.
many.
Omni-Man versus the Thraxans. Omni-Man versus his parents. Every time Very Mortal went against a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
The Invincible War. The list goes on and on.
So
I'm
many
gonna call
more.
it there for now. If this does well, maybe we'll go for part 2. Peace.
Yeah, bro. The amount of beatdowns that there are in Invincible, honestly, you could turn it into a drinking game. Like, that is how many there are. Like, I wouldn't recommend doing a drinking game on that, but you could do it. That is how many there are throughout this series. It's actually wild. But I do like it. It does show the realism of these incredibly super powered people. You know, like, realistically, somebody as strong as Mark, if he wanted to, like, he could put his hand on a human shoulder and just accidentally tear their arm off accidentally by, like, gripping the shoulder a little too tightly. We are basically paper. We're basically tissue paper compared to a Viltrumite, you know? So, like, them demonstrating that, I do like it, and it feels accurate. It really does. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. If you enjoyed my reaction to this, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.